Hey, this is a review of the new Ibanez RG1070PBZ. Just came out, and I have some dislikes, I have some likes. Overall, I love the guitar, so let me just get that out of the way. It's become my favorite guitar. But yeah, there's some things about it that I love and some things about it that are a little bit of a disappointment. So I'm just going to go over starting from the headstock. It is a beautiful headstock. I love how the grain of the wood is up here. You can see it. That's coming from the neck from behind. That over. And there's your Goto tuners, which starting with those, I mean, I love that they're locking tuners. And they work great, but the problem is that the tuners themselves, they're a little choppy. I've had better. Grovers are better. These are okay. They get me in tune. After all, it is a locking system, so once I get them in tune, lock it down, fine tune it, I'm okay. But the quality of the tuners is, it's alright. I also like the standard Ibanez truss rod flap, or whatever that is. Easy access, just flips right open. That's a great concept. I've used it quite a few times. Speaking of the truss rod, yeah, when I first got the guitar, I just felt like, okay, let me give the truss rod a little tweak, and I could really tell the neck itself was very, very strong. There was resistance in the adjustment of the truss rod, and ultimately I did wind up just backing the truss rod back out to the factory position, and it's basically sitting in there. There's no tension on it, and the neck itself is just rock solid, solid and straight. This is just a first-class piece of wood. And you could look at the specs online of there's 11 pieces of wood in there, so. I'm not really doing this in high def, so you probably don't see all the grain. But the feel of this neck itself is like warm chalk. It's unfinished, it's dry, but yet it's not like rough to the feel. It's not grainy. It just feels very smooth and organic, and I love it. Moving over to the fingerboard, this is Wenge, and it's a lot like rosewood, and it's a fine fingerboard. I'll tell you what my disappointment is. When I looked online, I ordered this guitar online, and I saw pictures of this fingerboard with magnificent grains, swirling grains, but I didn't get that. I didn't get that on mine, and I was a little disappointed, but I got over it. I mean, there's plenty of sweet grain in this to look at, but it's nothing like what I saw online. If you order one online, well, be prepared for that, So anyway, Wenge is it's a lot like rosewood, like I said. It's a lot grainier, but you don't feel the grain when you're playing it. It's a little dry. I wouldn't dare put any oil on it, though, because I think it would just seep right into all the crevices. But overall, I give this Wenge an A+. I mean, it's great. And the steel frets. These are stainless steel frets. I feel like they do give me a little bit more of a pop, a little bit of a ping for each note. They are bright. I do think I hear a little bit more brightness. Nothing incredibly different, though, and nothing like a major departure from your regular standard fret that we've had for so many years. So I expect them to last forever, though. So that's the thing. Also, here's a view you don't really get too much online, is the player's view, but I just wanted to show you the side dots. You really can't tell right now because it's light, but they do glow in the dark. And I have used this guitar on stage, on dark stages, and they do glow. So I think that would be useful. The quality is, well, I don't know if I could really get you in on that, but it's acceptable. It's not really amazing. Like you can really see the sort of the work marks up on this 24th fret where they laid in those dots. So if you're looking for something absolutely flawless, maybe this isn't it. Because, which leads me to my next point, is when I got this guitar, the factory setup was just, I mean, it was playable, but it was horrible. And the strings were all just slightly skewed down a little bit. So that the E string, I mean, all I had to do was just touch it to bring it, to just pull it off the neck. And, you know, I did some research on it, and I found that if you loosen the bolts to the neck and just sort of reposition it and tighten them back down, that you would be able to remedy that. So I tried that and tried that, but the good and the bad, Ibanez tolerances are so high that the neck doesn't really wiggle. I mean, once that neck gets in there, it's a tight tolerance. So I did gain a couple of extra millimeters. It's not perfect. I would have liked just a little bit more. I took it to a guitar tech. There was nothing more he could do, so I have it to where it's playable and I like it, and I've had to adjust my finger style a little bit to keep from yanking the strings off the edge there, but at this point now I've got accustomed to it, and it's feeling great. But yeah, that was, I think, a real major flaw, that they bolt on the neck and they don't check to make sure the strings are perfectly aligned. But it's adjustable, and we got it straight. Moving on to the pickups. Yeah, there's plenty online about these pickups. They are huge pickups, and the Tone Zone is just a huge, fat, wonderful tone sounding pickup, and they're all huge. I mean, the Air Norton is similar to a 59, like a Duncan 59, but more powerful, but it's still got that woody sound. And the True Velvet kind of perplexes me because it's just a real sort of obnoxious single coil. It's loud, it's powerful, but blended with, when blending it with the other pickups, it sounds great. Here's another flaw, is that the electronics are really great, but I like to be able to get really down to like volume level 1, and this guitar does not have a 1. It just goes straight from 0 to 2. So let me see if I could just demonstrate that as I bring it up. See, there's this play in here with nothing. So I don't know if that's the design of the guitar or if it's just, you know, a flawed pot. Once again, I've learned to live with it. It is a flaw because I do play from. I like to use my volume pot as a gain control, and I just lose a whole bunch right there. And blending the pickups gets me even cleaner. It's nice and chimey. And well, I won't get into the treble bleed too much, but there's a treble bleed circuit. So as you turn the volume down on the guitar, it will clean up, but it will retain, or actually not only retain, but it actually seems to boost the treble. So when you get real low in volume, your treble, it just becomes very kind of trebly and shrill. So you might have to make an adjustment with the tone knob just to smooth it out a little bit. So yeah, there's things to to get used to. Anyway, moving on. Look at that body binding. and that is just one of my favorite things. This is a gorgeous guitar. Poplar burl top. You know, I just love it. I mean, my family says it's ugly, but they don't know. It's beautiful. The electronics, everything is solid, no noise, everything is great. The switching just feels great, solid. Just that one little thing with the volume, which maybe someday I'll just replace that pot and see what happens. And I think I'm almost done talking about it, but the last thing is the zero edge bridge. This thing is phenomenal. I've played many Floyd Roses. This thing blows them away. It's got the you know, the adjustment, and there's a counter spring in there, just keeping it locked into a perfect, you know, zero position. So no matter where I dive, up or down, you feel it. You feel the difference when you're playing this bridge system. You feel the resistance going down, you feel the resistance going up. It doesn't warble, and I like that. I mean, sometimes I don't want to warble. And the other good thing about it is bending strings. With this, let's suppose I do one of these kind of, you know, like on a Stratocaster with a floating bridge. When you bend a string, all the other strings are going to dive down. They're going to lose their pitch. Not with this one. Or there, it happened a little bit right there. You see how I could actually make it happen. So this one's not perfect, obviously, but it is better than just a regular floating one. I've noticed that the guitar stays in tune better. You know, I did also have to do my own intonation from the factory. The intonation was way off, and you could see I had to back off those screws a whole bunch to get it right. So if you've got one of these and you haven't checked the intonation, you probably got it way off. But now it's really quite perfect. So not right now though. The back of the body, you really can't see it right now, but under the lights there is grain. You can see the grain. It's basswood, and it looks kind of black right now, but if you get some good light on it, you can see that there's, yeah, you can't see it on the camera, but there's a really nice gray behind the color there. So anyway, it sounds like I have more negatives than positives, but I really overall love this guitar. It is a shredder. It is loud. It is powerful. It's not obnoxiously loud. It's like a very harmonically loud and powerful and present. And it's had its flaws, but it's not perfect. Made in Indonesia. I liked it enough that I bought another one. Coming soon. It's not going to be a premium, it's going to be a prestige. I'm expecting wonderful things from that. But I'll do some playing videos. Obviously, I didn't play very much on this one. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope if you have any questions, just feel free to drop a question, and I'll be quick to answer it. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.